Monday nights here at Back at the Crib. Want to thank everyone for tuning in, whether that's on X or whether you are watching in on a YouTube at the House of Pop. Appreciate all of you. If you have not had a chance to hit the subscribe button, please do on YouTube. And man, happy to be back here on a Monday. It is myself, Jeremy Poplin, and Dion Amade, the two hosts of Back of the Crib. We're still kind of in limbo whether or not that Colby will join us, covered up a little bit later or not, but lots of stuff to get into. We probably won't go as long as we have the last couple of times, but man, I could not sit back on a Monday with everything that went down, especially late Saturday night, and not feel like that we can get some opinions out, because I don't know about you, Dion, and I'll give you the floor here in a minute. I have taken in so much different forms of media through various mediums on trying to figure out what the hell happened late Saturday night that led to what most people have described as one of the more shocking moments in terms of trades in any league that we've ever been fans of for as long as I can remember. Hell, I might put what happened down Saturday night as one of the more shocking moments in sports as long as I've been alive. Just reactions, the impact that it had. It's not Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson level, but what we witnessed on Saturday night does not happen ever. And if you had laid out that scenario, everyone would have laughed in your face repeatedly. And the Mavericks somehow, some way, and I have still yet to figure this out, traded Luka Doncic late on a Saturday evening. And I know that you had to be up in your feels as a Mavericks fan. I mean, the entire basketball world kind of had the WTF is happening moment on Saturday night. So we can just start there. Typically, this is a college football podcast, and we'll get to some college football in a bit. But, man, help me make sense. Have you been able to make sense of it at all? I need someone to try to explain it to me like I'm 5, because I don't get it.
Here's the thing. There's so many different variables that come into play when you're thinking about the trade that makes you kind of be in the situation that you're in, where I'm not completely, grasping what happened, but there's so many variables that you can kind of see the points in which the puzzle pieces start to fit together that makes sense of the trade. But before we kind of like go down that,
okay, good, because I can't wait for you to lay that out, because please put the puzzle pieces out there, because of everything that I've listened to, I think I'm still in the same place of confusion that I was when this went down at 11 o'clock on Saturday.
But real quick, I think it's so interesting to find out from different individuals, and especially because I started going down that rabbit hole Sunday morning of looking at all because I'm from Dallas, so a lot of my social media stuff, it has Dallas ties to it, and it was so funny going through all those social media clips of people in the club at house parties and the DJ going over the mic announcing the Luka got traded and everybody losing their mind. That was hilarious to me. So I want to know from your standpoint, how did you find out? And what was your initial reaction when you found out? And who did you tell? Who was the next person you told?
I think my initial response was like everyone else's was. I saw the tweet from Shams. Okay, we're actually we're in bed Saturday night, and the daughter gets sick. Like, she starts vomiting. This is, and by it's like she's 7. This is one of the first times that she's been like sick. Okay, at least to the point where she's throwing up.
It's going around.
We're trying to take care of all that, and my wife is taking care of her, and we're getting her settled back in. And while she is trying to lay down with her and comfort her back in bed, and to make sure everything's okay, I just pick up the phone and to see like what's going on, because I hadn't been on it the entire night, like completely missed everything. And I look and I see the tweet from Shams, and I do the No bleeping way. And I go and I make sure I look very closely to make sure that it's not one of the fake accounts, that has the extra exclamation point thrown in or an extra letter, or
Or
there's
period. Yeah.
yeah, something that's in there. And I'm like, oh my God, this is real. Like, there's no way that this is actually happening right now this late. And that at that point in time, it's like when the reaction just starts to set in. And X, Twitter is pretty much a hellhole now.
Mm-hmm.
But the one area that X and Twitter are still really good at are moments like Saturday night when
Yeah.
something like that was going down. I still say that entire platform was almost crafted for big sports moments, especially
Yeah.
trades, not even anything that's actually happening on the field or on the court. It's everything else. And it took me back to a time in which I rather enjoyed the Twitter experience on a regular basis, of just big moments that were happening in the world that you could follow along with minute by minute by minute. And after 15 minutes of scrolling, it was like, I still can't believe I'm reading this, that this is actually real. And from everyone that I listened to, from Zach Lowe, who came back, who did an emergency podcast, all the big names that you can think of that cover the NBA, to then the little pocket of different NBA insiders, almost every single last one of them had the exact same response, which was, I had to double check to make sure that wasn't a fake account that was going out there. And I think he even mentioned that. Like, he said, hey, when I got the information on my phone, he goes, I thought someone had hacked my phone before he actually tweeted it out there. Do you understand what it had to feel like for him to hit send on that tweet and to send that out into the zeitgeist, that the Mavericks organization has just nuked their future plans and have, quite frankly, nuked and gassed their own people that live in Dallas with an icon, with their hero, that they feel like that he's a part of, not just them as fans, he's a part of the culture that is Dallas sports.
And we'll get into that a little bit more as we talk more about this. But I feel like me and you are in this is a perfect kind of little culture example of the people who found out from Sham and saw the tweet and was like the first one in the group text message that was to send it out. And I'm on that other side where I found out through the group text message.
Oh, through the
I found out. So we see you guys were you were literally 30 seconds behind one other group texters. And that's
what happens when you get old, man.
no, 30 seconds behind though. Because it's Devin's sister, my best friend Devin, who's in LA. His sister's in Dallas, and she goes, what is going on in Dallas? The Cowboys can't win anything, and now this with Luka. And I looked at my phone and I was like, what the hell is she talking about? And I kid you not, 30 seconds later, because I'm in bed at that time. I'm like chilling, watching a movie. I'm watching some comedy special on Netflix. I'm struggling to stay awake. And I look at my phone and I was like, what is she talking about? So immediately I go to social media. I go to Instagram first. And then you text in our group chat. And I was like, oh, crap, what just happened? Yeah. And so I knew it was real from that standpoint. So like, that's the dynamic of like two individual Saturdays. Either you saw it from X, from Shams, or you got it in your group text message and everybody was like, what? Yeah.
I just happened to see it.
That was a nice moment.
I just happened to see it. It had been literally posted like maybe 3 minutes. And it, it was a little bit later. So it hadn't really picked up a whole lot of momentum yet, because of the timing of it. But, because if that thing had gone down at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 minutes, he would have already had like 1 million retweets on it, but it hadn't picked up the full head of steam that was yet. And then it was like trying to instantly piece together the why, the how, what was their thinking behind this. And then that's where guys that cover the team like Tim McMahon from Dallas, Mark Stein, who is on Substack now, but is still very tied in and very connected, who's out of Dallas as well. You immediately start going to those people that have some pretty deep connections to the team to see what they're saying about something like this. And I feel like we could go, there are multiple layers to this, but just there's a part of me that's still going back to the overall shock because it flies in the face of everything that we've ever known about the way that the NBA operates. And quite frankly, I think what confounds it a little bit more is I have still yet to have someone make it make sense to me, because every last one of the levels and points that have been made from the organization, to me, don't hold any amount of water at all. Like, I cast doubt on every single thing that they have said so far. That's what I think is contributing to just the level of shock. Dude, you do not trade a 25-year-old generational talent like that, period, and end of story. I don't care if he's 325 pounds, Dion, trying to haul that ass up and down the floor. You don't trade that dude, period, end of story, in my opinion. And I listen, obviously, I love the ticket. That it's one of my true passions. I think it's remarkable what they've been able to accomplish for 30 years. And what's funny is like when I sent, Jerry a message being like, look at what they've done, the first thing he said back to me is like, I can't wait until the Musers at 6 a.m. on Monday. And I agreed with him, just to hear kind of, because that station more than any has the pulse of a city as much as anyone across the country.
Yeah.
And they were all in the exact same boat of, what have you done to the sports landscape in this city? And I know it was a joke that happened on Twitter first, but whoever tweeted out Jerry Jones wouldn't even never have done this. Like, they're 100% right. Like, this is something that is so idiotic to me that Jerry Jones wouldn't even have been able to stoop to that level of idiocy.
All right, bear with me here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Pop.
Go on.
This is not, some radio shtick. This is not,
Yeah, this is not you coming in the studio and us pre-planning something on which way that you're going to take.
Yeah, this is not some radio, but let me be honest with you, okay?
Okay.
After the initial shock of what happened, hearing from all the individuals that I listen to from an NBA standpoint, and really thinking about, the media narrative of the after effect of how things are going, I don't think I'm mad about this trade.
What, are you out of your mind?
I don't think I'm mad about the trade.
This is where, I look for Colby's like facial expression over something that you say like this. Like, what are you talking about?
And bear with me here before you kind of like look at me and say, again, let me preface this by saying I'm an average. Average.
Hang on. Yeah. No, you go ahead. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm an average NBA fan. All right. And for you guys that are, voicing your complaints on X and Twitter and saying, how could they do this? Da, 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 da. I mean, let's be honest. Okay. Most of us guys that are saying this, we're average NBA fans that watch, at most 10 games in the regular season and tune in for the playoffs and the NBA finals. Okay. So you're not reading all the articles. You're not entrenched in all the podcasts. You're not doing all that. And I'm be honest with you, I'm not either. That's a lot. 82 games is a lot. It's a lot. I as well, take some games off, just like Luka Doncic and AD. So I say this to say, bro, the way things are going in the NBA, we were in the player empowerment, movement, where the players had the power and they were dictating where they wanted to go and what they wanted to do. With everything going on right now, I think Jimmy Butler was the straw that broke the camel's back. And yes, Jimmy Butler's done all this before where he's trying to push his way out of different situations, especially with his contract, not getting an extension and not getting the things that he's demanded for. I think the executives in the NBA have started to figure these things out. And you know me, Pop. You know what I believe in. Money makes sense. And at the end of the day, they didn't want to give that fat boy $350 million. If he's like my older brother put it to me plain and simple. He goes, bro, he's a civilian gangster, all right? He's a gangster. And what those dudes do over there, they chill, they drink, and they handle business. And he was not going to stop drinking and doing what he wanted over there in Dallas because Mark Cuban gave him the keys to the kingdom, and they begged him, they've asked him. He's a liability on defense. Does he get buckets? Yeah. Can he score at will? Yeah. But for what they wanted to do, I mean, having Kyrie, Klay Thompson, and now AD, I mean, I'm not mad about it. Listen, I'm honestly not mad about it, especially not wanting to pay this guy $350 million.
I appreciate you having a different opinion from about 99% of the people that I happen to listen to today. I think one of the only people that said in the short term that this was going to be a good deal that was out in the open was Charles Barkley, who said that he felt like that in the short term it could be a good deal. Let's go back though to your point about the Supermax, which he was going to be eligible to sign coming up this summer. Okay. $345 million. And the fact that they were reluctant to give that to him. Then explain to me why. Because Luka Doncic has averaged about 60 games per year. Just put it in your calendar. He's going to miss 20 to 22 games per year, right? With just nagging injuries because of the style that he plays and also how he carries himself.
Yeah, how he carries himself.
Yeah. Okay. And I'll get to my opinion on that in a moment. But you didn't go the opposite direction in making this trade. You went right back into that exact same pattern by trading for Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis played 70 games last year for the first time since 2018. He's averaged less games than Luka per year. He got the street clothes nickname for a reason. And his extension that he's already signed kicks in next year. He's going to make $176 million in 3 years, which is percentage-wise the exact same pay rate that you were going to have for Luka moving forward, signing the Supermax. And he's 6 to 7 years older. So you got rid of Luka for that reason, to basically jump back into the same boat with someone that has some of the exact same issues, not necessarily in weight, but doesn't play. That's counterpoint one. The other point on weight, and my man Jay Kemp on the Dumb Zone and some other people were bringing this up today, and I remember them playing this clip from when he was on the ticket, and they had, when Dirk retired, they had on Dirk a lot, and Dirk basically said, and also Steve Nash confirmed this, he said, it took us, because of our ego, it took us about almost 10 years into our career to decide that we were really going to do what was best for us in terms of taking care of our bodies. Like, dude's 25, okay? He hasn't even technically hit the prime window yet that we all talk about in athletes, especially in basketball, in that 26, 27, 28, 29, 30-year-old range. We haven't even really, like, you just automatically gave up on him because you were worried about the if he doesn't do this, instead of giving him the opportunity as a generational talent, which he is, to figure some of this stuff out once his ego got out of the way. Now, there is a risk that goes into that, but hey, guess what? There's a risk in everything that you do as well. Not only that, weren't we all talking about Luka's conditioning from day one when he stepped on the NBA floor? Wasn't that a topic every single year about Luka not coming into the season in shape and that it would take a little while for him to get in shape? Guess what? That he was able to accomplish in every single year that he stepped on the floor, that he wasn't in prime shape. He did something that only 5 other NBA players have ever done, and that is make 5 all-pro teams. And every year that he's been in the league, he's made an all-pro team. And there's only like 4 other guys that have ever done that in the history of the game. It's incredible what he's been able to accomplish. He got you to a Western Conference Finals and then drug a team to the NBA Finals last year. And you thought enough of him last year. Well, just listen. You thought enough of him last year to get the franchise to a certain position, right? You thought enough of him before you finally said, I'll be damned, we got to start making moves to help this guy. So you go out, you take a flyer on Kyrie, you go out, you're able to add some pretty incredible guys to your roster that when they're 100% healthy, I saw the numbers. Like, they were outscoring people by a crazy amount in 100 possessions per when everyone's healthy on the floor this year. You made moves to build around him with a team. You went to the NBA Finals and you didn't even have the balls or the guts to try to run it back for another full year. They were in the finals 8 months ago, man. Like, that's just insane talk that you're really to give up on a guy like that. You pay a guy like that $350 million every day of the week. You give him the Supermax and you figure it out. You just took your window from a 10-year opportunity to, if you don't win in 2 or 3 now, guess what? Nico's out of a job. Like, you've risked your entire career on a guy that's in the same boat as Luka and is older than he is. And now you've put on primary facilitator role on Kyrie Irving. He's not that dude anymore.
You can't figure stuff out with $345 million.
Yes, you can. The way that the league is set up, you can
things out with $345 million on your head. Because
you can.
What if you reward that? If you reward him and give him that money, what do you say? What are you saying to him? Hey, but please, we promise that you're going to change. Promise that you're going to diet and you're going to take care of your body, and you're not going to be a turnstile on defense. Promise us when we give you this money, because people don't want to say this, because Luka did get them to the finals, but Luka lost them that finals because the Celtics were going after him defensively. We've all seen the clip from Windhorst and how he had to call him out, and the behavior that he had with the referee with the whole team. The thing is, and again,
don't you put up with that with generational talent?
We need to say this on the front end. We need to say this on the front end. If the Mavericks have more information and more data on Luka than anybody else, and they were willing to trade him. So that tells you something, that they know something that we don't know. And on top of that, the fact of the matter is, AD's probably better in the short-term situation than Luka.
No way. There's no way.
Because
is AD getting Klay Thompson shots?
The shot that everybody's taking at AD right now, he is still a first ballot NBA Hall of Famer.
I'm not saying that.
He's still an individual that's in his prime. He's still a dude that demands respect in this league, gets bucket, and on top of that, plays defense. Out of anybody, when you're in the Western Conference, out of anybody who's been able to guard the best player in the league, it's been AD. When it comes to guarding that behemoth over there over there in Denver, you can't. The way that AD is taking shots right now, you can't say that he's not a dominant player in this league.
I didn't say that he's not dominant.
And in the short-term span,
he's not Luka.
In the short-term span, I still believe this is a team that can now challenge everybody in the West, make it to the finals, and have an opportunity at winning.
you could have challenged everyone without making the move. I just told you they were one of the highest scoring teams in the league when they were healthy. By the way, this is going to turn out to be a historic injury year for the Mavs in the total number of games that are missed, the way that the trajectory is going right now. But when all of those guys are healthy, they're, I don't want to say dominating people, but they're projecting to be one of the better teams in the league. I mean, hell, they already got Oklahoma City's number, and then you even have Luka playing half the time. Like, they were healthy enough to run that group back. And they also got better over the summer, too, to give this an opportunity. But yet you traded away a generational talent that doesn't come around very often. That's why it's so damn confusing to me.
It's so funny when people say run it back, when here's the deal. You run it back when you win. You don't run it back when you lose.
No, that's not true.
You don't run it back when you lose. When you're on the
making
court,
it to the finals,
you get to keep playing. Not when you lose. No, you got to make adjustments. And I'm not mad at him for trying to find ways to make adjustment to get over the hill to beat the Celtics, because don't like, we're not playing just in the Western Conference. They already won the Western Conference championship. It's about winning the finals.
Yeah, but you got to, to me, you make it to the finals, that qualifies as running it back. Like, it's very difficult to make it to the finals.
What Boston's doing right now, you need to do something different. And from what you've seen,
you go through the building blocks of winning a championship. All of their core pieces outside of Kyrie are young dudes. All of them.
And Clay.
And young. Well, Clay now, but Clay was added to it. But the core group of those guys were all in the 25-year age range. It's like prime time, baby. You don't do this. You hit send on the nuclear warheads and blew up a chance.
You didn't blow it up.
Oh,
you didn't blow it up.
But now, if they don't, because of a move like this, like, it's even more now so of a, if you don't win in 2 years, this is an absolute failure. At least with Luka, you had the ability under a generational talent to continue to build around that piece, and you knew that was a constant no matter what. So now what happens with Kyrie? Does Kyrie go, this is not what I signed up here for? He can opt out this summer, like, because it was a 2+1 deal. Like, he can opt out. The trade itself doesn't make any sense because you didn't get the value back in what a player like Luka requires. That's like, we haven't even brought that up yet at all, but the timing of it makes no sense to me. The fact that what would have Luka commanded to other front offices? Like, what could the Mavericks have done? I'm telling you, every single team in the league. Now, Oklahoma City may have been like, now we're good. But they could have went to Houston, who's really good right now. They could have went to Houston and commanded just an absolute ransom. They could have went to San Antonio with all the picks they have and commanded a ransom for him as well. They could have went anywhere in the league. But yet they went there, and it reeks of Nico and Rob Pelinka being friends. It almost feels like
go to where you know now. Go to where
chummy,
you know.
like this is a favor to help the Lakers out, like in a weird way. And all they do is continue to find another generational talent to continue to make over their franchise here moving forward. Oh, and by the way, I cannot wait until the 25th of this month. I can't wait until March, because there is nothing that's better than a pissed off Luka who's just out to absolutely ruin fools. Yeah. You've seen it. You know it. You know it.
Let's see what that plus minus looks like, and then we'll
you know it.
But here's the next question. You know, and we're not saying that. And when I make this argument about how I'm not that upset at the trade,
I'm learning that you're not really a Mavs fan tonight. That's what I'm learning.
I mean, I'm not saying that Nico didn't get taken advantage of. Like, he didn't win. He did, from the present sense, he didn't win the trade. Okay, but here's the thing. And Rob Pelinka did a good job of negotiating. And I've read some things from what's been said, how the negotiations went, how initially there were first round picks involved with the
Yeah.
trade. And what happened was Rob had told Nico, he's like, bro, with this dude over here, he's a risk. Because the fact of the matter is he a generational talent? Yes. But with the drinking and the weight issue, I can't, trade for this dude and include these picks, because bringing him to LA and thinking this is going to get better is a risk. So
you know what they did? You know what they did? This is like Mahomes losing to Brady in the AFC Championship game early on, and the Chiefs being like, "Damn, we can't win with this guy," and trading away Patrick Mahomes for like Aaron Rodgers. This is what this feels like.
But no.
Yes, this is exactly what this feels like.
That's come on, Pop.
Before they won all the Super Bowls and they get to the AFC Championship game and can't get past Brady, and they're like, you know what, this just isn't going to work. That's kind of how it feels.
If Patrick Mahomes missed 4 games during the season, and if he was arguing with Andy Reid, and if he was, bitching and moaning to the refs if he was, not a good fit in the locker room, maybe I could see how you could those two could align and equivalate each other. But no.
See, what's funny is all these stories, and the report you were talking about, I think it was Kurt Colberry, who now writes for The Ringer, on the Rob Pelinka talked, the other first round pick away from Nico and another player that was thrown in. We're still so early in this process. Like, we're all trying to vet, like, what source has something to gain on what they're leaking out there, right? We haven't had enough time to vet everything that we truly know, because there are some different degrees in the reporting that are out there so far. I'm not saying that that's not true. It's just, where did he get that information from? Because that leans very heavily, Laker influenced on that, and be like, oh yeah, Rob Pelinka, who, by the way, I mean, up until this point, like, you can point to a few things that Rob Pelinka has done, but I think that you can also say that Nico had a pretty good little winning streak there, about 10 or 11 moves.
Good track record.
And what I worry about is, like, ego getting in the way. And also now, no one's left in the organization to check him anymore. Like, they got the owner, and then the family that owns the team, and then they got the Dumont, son-in-law that's basically trying to run things, but like, he doesn't know basketball. These aren't basketball people. Like, you're letting Nico run the entire show for this. So was there anyone there that was there to check him, and did his ego, because of wins that he got, like 10 or 11 good deals in a row, where everyone's telling him, like, man, how are you so good at this already, with you not even having a real GM background? Like, did his ego get the best of him? Did his ego get to a point where he's like, man, I've tried, and like, Luka won't listen to me, so he's got to go on, while everyone else in the organization is like, would tell him, man, you don't need to do this. As well as I do, this move would have never happened if Mark Cuban owned the team, ever.
I mean, we've all seen that comment from Mark Cuban about, he'd rather get a divorce from his wife than to trade Luka. So, I mean, we all know that wouldn't have been the case. But here's the thing, and I brought this up earlier. Just like you said, Nico's got a good track record of making things happen. No,
he did. That's gone now.
Nico's had a good track record of making things happen, and things that he's put on the line. The Kyrie, when everybody wanted to stay away from him, taking the risk to bring him in, getting Klay Thompson in, the things that he's done, the picks that he's made,
I don't know if
those have worked out. So why are we not giving him any kind of,
because you don't do this
in this situation? I mean, here's the fact of the matter. In the media world, in basketball world, the basketball bloggers, they love Luka because of the stats that he produces, and the way that he plays, and how much he's a basketball savant and a phenom and all this good stuff. But the fact of the matter is in crunch time, when it's time to play championship basketball, sometimes Luka can be a disadvantage for the Mavericks.
He
And I
got
think
you to the finals.
he did not get you to the finals by himself, because they put a lot of good pieces around. They had Kyrie as well. I mean, you're saying this like he was dragging the Mavericks with, you know, all these second round picks.
He had the numbers. You could have made an argument that he had the numbers to win MVP last year.
If he won.
I mean, he's just.
If he won.
I just don't.
If he won.
I'm just talking about MVP of the entire league. That's how good his entire year was in general, outside of what he was accomplishing in the playoffs. The other thing too that, you know, I know Bob Stern was trying to bring this up today on the ticket, and he has a good Substack on this. Outside of on the floor, I mean, I think you see what a player like that in today's day and age of being a fan, when we're all in search of a sports hero for your favorite team. Now, I'm not a Mavs fan, right? You know that. Like, you know where my allegiances lie.
Oh.
But I also am very well aware, and should any sports fan, of what it's like when you have what is considered to be a superhero that plays for your franchise, that you could make an argument, and none of this BS argument where you're trying to stretch the truth a little bit, because in the back of your mind, you know that they're not really like a top 5 player in the world. He legitimately was one of the 5 best players in the entire league, and more than likely even higher than that when he's 100% healthy. And as a fan, like, you find yourself in this position to where it almost supersedes, like, and the example that was brought up today was, you go to a Mavericks game, but you don't even refer to it as like going to the Mavericks game. You're like, you know, we're going to watch Luka tonight. You know what I mean? Like, it takes on this otherworldly, and it's one of the reasons why I think people are so hurt. By the way, whoever the hell has got a blue coffin just hanging out in your garage that you have the ability to take up the next day outside the American Airlines Center, like, bravo to you. And then also playing the song that is at the end of one of the Fast and Furious movies when Paul Walker dies.
Yeah, it's been a long.
I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. And they're playing that in the background, and they're dropping roses on the coffin. I go to MavsMoneyball.com right now and look at every single headline that's there. People are hurt, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, legitimately hurt over this. And there are a few fan bases that can understand this. This one's a little bit different. I saw people kept saying, you know, well, we were hurt when Durant left as well. Durant wanted to leave. Durant left on his own. Like, Luka gave them no indication. Even Nico said that. He gave them no indication that he was leaving. Like, they traded him. Would have been different if Oklahoma City would have been like, hey, we're just trading Durant from out from underneath you. Like, this one hurts more because it was self-sabotage by your own, like, someone in your own house, you know, doing this to you as a fan. That's where so much of the pain comes from.
But that's also where, as an NBA fan, you have to realize what these executives have up against them now. And it's a situation where, like Nico said in that press conference, they did, and honestly, this is harsh to say, but they did a good job of probably avoiding a tumultuous.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up.
Tumultuous offseason.
Tumultuous?
Because here's the fact, like I pointed out, when it comes time in this day and age of NBA basketball, these guys want their money, and when they don't get it, like Luka never said, "Hey, you guys, I want you to trade me." He never said that yet. because they didn't give him an opportunity to, because they sold him at the highest point.
But they did. No, they didn't. They're selling him at the highest point would have been hitting the pause button. They sold him for a low point. They did a quick cash refi is what they did on this. And it's so stupid the way that they did it. They did not sell at the high point. And he gave them no indication at all. The big talking point around Dallas anyway was always like, oh, we're so afraid that if we're not good enough, he's going to want to re-sign with someone else. And yet all they did, they went out and bolstered up the lineup. And they get nothing
for him. And they get nothing for him.
But dude, they bolstered the lineup.
Just like Miami's made the team better for Jimmy Butler.
They made the team better around him. He gave them no indication he was going to sign the Supermax. The people that were there, like from his old man today, that was going off about the organization. Like he was giving them no sign. He was going to sign the Supermax. And the tumultuous take, I laughed out loud when I heard that. Tumultuous summer. Oh, boo-hoo. We've got the second best player in the world that we've got to worry about paying money for. You want real heartache? You want real heart palpitations? Try being, I don't know, a GM of the Bulls, like the idiots, a GM of the Sacramento Kings. Like that's a tumultuous summer. Oh my God, we got this a massive decision to make to re-sign the second best player in the world when he's healthy. Get out of here. That's not tumultuous. And spare me the money talk. The Adelson family is worth $138 billion. $138 billion. Get out of here. It's Mark Cuban said it when he sold the team. He's like, you know what? As much as I hate having to give up the majority share of this, here's one thing that you will never have to worry about if you're a Mavs fan. You will never, ever, ever have to worry about the question of whether or not that this team has enough money to compete with this group that I sold it to. They're like the fourth richest ownership group in the country, Dion. $350 million. They're worried about it. Shut up. So you have to pay $60 million in luxury tax or 80 or whatever it is. Get out of here.
Hey man, they got to save money to build that casino in Irving, Texas.
Well, that ain't getting passed through the legislature. They have misplayed their hand on that one. Literally.
We need that casino, baby.
Yeah, because they need more money, right? That's the next great frontier. We already made $150 billion here in Nevada. Let's open it up to the next one. Yeah, get out of here. I don't know, man. It's absolutely insane. And I tweeted this earlier. And again, it's not even the same thing. I was trying to think about, moments in my life that are not brought upon by losses in sports where I'm legitimately hurt. And I still remember to this day, and information travels differently now, but in 93, when San Francisco traded Joe Montana, like, dude, you have no little pissy-eyed Poplin was just over there like, but it's different though, because Joe hadn't played a lot in the last 2 years. That's still my hero. That's an icon. That's one of the GOATs of the entire game. But do you know how old Joe was when they traded him? He was 37. He's 37. And he hadn't played in a couple of years. And ultimately, I knew that Steve Young was going to play well. But like, as much as I still think back about how hurt I was about that, I don't think it's even remotely close to the amount of hurt of what like diehard Mavericks fans are going through right now. And Oklahoma City's got to be loving this, by the way. Like the Thunder have to be like, wait a minute. You had our number. You just traded Luka away. Yes, you brought in Anthony Davis, but you've kind of hit the reset button because now they have to figure out how to play together over this period of time. So one of the biggest hurdles that's in our path in the West is now kind of out of the way, at least for right now. Like Oklahoma City has to be loving this, on top of the fact that if this doesn't work, and let me just rephrase that, in my opinion, when this doesn't work for the Mavericks, and then they have to go through the rebuild process, Oklahoma City owns one of your picks. It's like 28. Who are the Mavericks teams that they probably hate the most, Dion? The Rockets,
the San Antonio,
the Spurs,
the Texas two-step, the Rockets and the Spurs, and OKC.
Guess who owns 3 picks for them when you get to 27, 28, and 29. Or excuse me, 28, 29, and 30.
Would that be Mr. Presti?
Presti owns one, the Rockets own the other, and the Spurs own 2030. You have no capital now to even think about a rebuild because of some of the moves that you made now with shipping out this guy. Now, things can happen. I know it's very fluid. Maybe you recoup some of that, but that is not that is staring down the barrel of three of your arch rivals for later on when this ultimately doesn't work out. All right. Like I said, I didn't want to spend the entire show on this, but this was such a big story. Like I'm glad. Yeah, you got one. You can make another point on this. I am happy though that you at least like have a differing view on it. And like I said, you might be the only person I've heard today that has even remotely tried to speak positively about this.
And I'm probably gonna get it from social media from it. Let me ask you this one question, and before we get off the subject matter, okay?
Okay.
Did LeBron know?
I don't think so. There's a part of me that thinks that the Lakers contingency is trying to diminish a little bit of the power of the clutch group a little bit. And now I don't know. I haven't been able to think about this, vetted enough in my own mind. If you tell LeBron, though, there's no way that that's staying quiet. There's just no way.
Because
he's going to try to manipulate it to a certain way.
Rich Paul would, at the very least, get other teams involved to find a way to make some noise and keep that clutch family together. Because what they're doing is ushering in, AL after LeBron, the era where, LeBron retires, and now they have their front-facing future of the franchise. And that's under LeBron's watch. And, and here's the thing, basketball-wise.
Do you realize how annoying it's going to be, by the way, if Luka starts taking his health more seriously? What I hear today is like, all of a sudden, here's a commercial with Luka and the Calm app, that LeBron's put him on. He's got a hyperbaric chamber like LeBron that he's sleeping in.
We all need a mentor.
He's taking naps.
We all need a mentor.
Luka gets his life, and then the amount of fawning over like LeBron changed the trajectory of Luka's career. Like, do you know how disgusting that's going to be?
LeBron did what Dirk couldn't. Okay, he wouldn't listen to Dirk.
Dirk had him 1 year. Calm down.
He wouldn't listen to Dirk, and now he's LeBron comes in and saves that young white man's career. He just puts him under his arms and says, "Come on, be a."
Calm down. Real quick on the football front, let's go to college.
All right.
You just win the national championship. You lose both your coordinators.
That's college football, baby.
Did you see what the Raiders are paying Chip Kelly?
Nah, I didn't hear.
$6 million per.
That's a lot of chips at the table.
He was making a little over $2 million at Ohio State. My ass would be gone too.
See what I did there?
I did see there. Yes, I did see that. Yeah.
Bro, I mean, that's 3 times. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Stay here and recruit? I'm out of here.
And then Jim Knowles has kind of spoken a little bit, and it's exactly what we talked about. It was just not a good philosophical fit. He was talking about how it reminded him a little bit about how it ended at Oklahoma State.
No, he didn't say that.
He didn't say it out loud, but he basically hinted around at it a little bit.
He did not say that, Pop. Did
he? He hinted around at it.
Damn.
It reminded you a lot of when he ultimately left Stillwater. Damn. And it sounds like seriously that James Franklin was like, I won't even poke my head in your defensive room. Like, I will talk to you on Saturdays. And that's the way that it made it sound. Like, that's the head coach on defense.
He said, I'll see you on Saturdays.
I'll see you on Saturdays.
Or I love that.
Listen, I'll see you on the charter.
Bruh.
Is kind of what James Franklin said.
I love that. I'll put that on a t-shirt, bro. I'll see you on Saturday.
I'll shake your hand as you walk up the steps to get on the charter.
Hell yeah, bro. I mean,
that's a lot of coordinators that are gone from the championship game too.
Volatile
Nation, man. Yeah, because Notre Dame's defensive coordinator left afterward.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, never-ending cycle in college football. Two other things, NFL related.
Yeah.
If you were, say, someone that was on the outside edge looking in, just this far away from punching your ticket to the Super Bowl or even being in the AFC NFC championship picture, what is Myles Garrett worth to you? Who today officially requested a trade from the Bengals, the Browns. Now, that doesn't mean that the Browns are going to do anything, but they also have the number 2 overall pick. And Mr. Carter from Penn State is there too. And there's no way he's falling past the 2 spot.
Now.
I don't think he was going to before either.
But here's the thing, though. You still need a quarterback.
Oh, I know. But they're going to have to do some finagling on that with that.
So
absolutely asinine. That asshole contract they made that they gave to Deshaun Watson is just crazy.
They might get 92 mil back though. They might get 92 back.
What's Myles Garrett worth? Is Myles Garrett is the starting price for me to even get in the conversation? If you're going to the Browns and be like, hey, starts with 2 number 1s easily.
How old is Myles Garrett?
I'll have to double check and look.
Yeah. How old is Myles? Because that has a lot to do with it. Because if he's
dominant though.
But if he's what is he, 32? Oh crap. He's still under 30.
Oh yeah, dude, he's 29.
Oh, he's 29, and he's a young 29 too. Oh,
I mean, if you're the Browns and you don't want to trade him, I think then the conversations have to start with 3 1s.
3?
Yeah. But if you're say Buffalo and all of your first rounders are late anyway from where you think that you're going to be, is that worth it? You maybe throw in a few other assets on that, but that should be at least the starting point.
3 first rounds?
Yeah.
Really?
And you know what? If I'm Buffalo, I'm doing that.
Really?
Yes.
I was thinking
if I'm Tampa, if I'm someone like Tampa that just hasn't been able to get over the hump, they're just good enough to get in, maybe win a game. It's the type of player that puts you over the top to me.
Bro, but can Baltimore get in there even though they're inside the division?
I saw that like odds came out, and Vegas odds don't mean anything because like the Cowboys were considered one of the favorites. I'm like, that ain't happening.
Yeah, you have to do that, Pop.
Someone had the Chiefs up there. I'm like, no.
Yeah, he's from Dallas now.
It's like I don't know if I'll watch a Niners game, but I won't watch anyone else outside of them next year if that ends up happening. Like, no, not at all. Yeah, that's an interesting one to me. And then the other one, if you didn't see it as of late, did you see where the Rams went to Cooper Kupp and like,
yeah,
it's time, buddy.
Yeah.
You and your neck beard, it's time to go.
Not the neck beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw that before we went on, and I was like, everybody kind of had to assume that there's only one football on the field, and you got to go with the younger dude, and that you guys both do the same thing. So, I mean, but here's the thing: are the Rams? They don't have no big X receiver on the outside though, and that and having 2 slashers could you could do some things with, but now having 1 slasher, you need that big deep threat guy as well. So it's going to be interesting what they do in the draft as well, or what they do to trade to kind of get that big X on the outside.
You won't like this, but this one makes a lot of sense for Myles Garrett. The Commanders.
Stop it.
All that cap space they got, so you could trade for him and then sign him to a new extension on that, because they've got the third most cap space this in like $80 million.
This thing where the rich get richer.
That's also the benefit of having a badass rookie quarterback on a rookie deal, right?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Because you got Jalen Daniels for like $900K for 4 more years if you want it.
I don't know who wants that deal to happen least, Cowboys fans or Daniel Snyder.
Anything else we missed out on?
Nah, man. I think the Luka's news dominated, and kudos to the NBA, bro, because they got one back. They dominated the news cycle on the Super Bowl Monday, and they'll probably dominate it on a Super Bowl Tuesday as well. This is a leftovers are going to be good on this one as well.
Yeah, they did. They absolutely did find their way through on Super Bowl Sunday. Because, like I said, I listened to the ticket almost all day, and they're on Radio Row. They did not talk NFL one segment today.
No, not one.
Not once.
We haven't even mentioned, like, we should probably give our Super Bowl picks and we haven't even touched it. Haven't even thought about
it. I mean, I guess I'm rooting for the Eagles. I can't believe I said that out loud.
Yeah.
Because I just don't.
I'd be so disappointed in you.
I know, but I don't want the Chiefs to win 3. I don't want them to win 3 in a row.
Why? You want to be a hater all your life?
I already am that. I don't want them to win 3. Like, the Niners were a fumble away with Roger Craig of going to 3 straight Super Bowls. Like, and the Chiefs have made it back. I don't want them to win 3 in a row.
I'm not mad if they get it, man. Hey, bro.
Why?
I'm not mad at witnessing greatness. Not mad at it.
Okay.
Especially when you deserve it.
Hey, before we're out of here, let's go ahead and see it since we talked about it. But
damn, who knew all the
Does this man have a suit short set on?
Yeah, you did.
Bro, I could have bet money that those dudes would be white.
There was listen, there was
bringing the coffins.
There was a lot of white people there for sure. My favorite was somebody spray painted F Nico, and they had the power washer out there, and dude, they couldn't power wash it off, like it wasn't coming up.
Damn, I hope this works out for him, man. I really hope this works out for him, because
man,
you can't make this kind of a move and it just like be the like I don't want to see him go out like the 76ers GM who's known for the process and never got to see it all the way through. So I don't know. We'll see.
We shall see. Meanwhile, everyone's rummaging through the all the trash bins trying to see if they can find the giant Luka Doncic like hanging off the side of the American Airlines Arena and off the side of the airport at Love Field. See what they can scrounge.
Guys, hey, he'll be all right.
If you ever needed a Luka jersey, I'm sure they're like half off on the rack at the American Airlines. Like, there's so many of those too.
I hope Luka doesn't wear that number 77 in LA.
Oh, he is. They've already shown pictures of him in his Lakers jersey.
Offensive lineman jersey off, bro. Take it off. You just find a simple 7. It'll be slimming.
How about De'Aaron Fox with the Spurs, Dion?
Good night, Pop.
How about that move?
Good night, Pop.
I mean, for basically a bag of Funyuns, the Spurs get De'Aaron Fox. It's awesome.
Golly.
Didn't have to give up any of their core at all.
That's crap. Sacramento, shame on you. You
got to blame the Bulls too.
Shame.
That's why I like dumb franchise going to dumb franchise. I say that all the time. I just didn't think that the Mavs were going to be included into the dumb franchise tag, but yet here we are.
It'll work out. You got to believe. I'm gonna manifest it.
You better hope it does. All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, Pop. See
Appreciate
ya.
everyone for tuning in here on X, YouTube as well. Check us out on YouTube. Got some shorts up there as well on the episodes list. Rain and Kane's there, my own show, and then Back at the Crib, and it's all at the House of Pop there on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you back here coming up on a next Monday night. All right.
All right.